Hey friends, and welcome back to our channel, or welcome if you're new here. If you've been paying attention to news headlines at all, then it's likely you've heard a lot about the real estate market here in the United States. Today we're going to deep dive into the market here in the Salt Lake City area and talk about what the economic experts are predicting for our real estate market this summer and into the end of the year.
We're going to talk about the hot button issues like unpredictable interest rates and the soaring home cost. So if that's something that interests you, then go ahead and stay tuned.
If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living, eating, sleeping, working, and playing in northern Utah, then subscribe below and tap the bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market here in northern Utah.
We are Sloane and Kim Petersen with the Petersen Group, and we've been in the real estate business for 10 years, and every day we help people just like you looking to buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in northern Utah, and we absolutely do love it. Whether you're looking to buy in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. All of our information is in that description box below, so we can help you make that smooth transition to northern Utah. Let's go ahead and get into it.
So first off, we want to start by saying something that we always tell our clients, and that's we don't have a crystal ball and no one can predict the future. But what we do study, some of the leading economists who make it their job to predict what's happening in the real estate market. Now, first things first, let's talk about interest rates. I know that everybody is talking about interest rates. Now we're coming into an election year, and historically speaking, this means that interest rates will likely drop. Now this is a good thing for a lot of home buyers, particularly first-time home buyers, because it means affordability will start to drop, and more buyers that were sitting on the fence will be able to enter the real estate market.
Now, of course, to every pro, there's obviously going to be a con, and we're going to get into what reduced interest rates will mean for our market here in just a minute. But one thing that we can say is when we do see interest rates decrease, we're definitely going to see an increase in people who can actually qualify to purchase a home. Now, some of the pros to higher interest rates is that because there aren't as many buyers, we have been able to negotiate closing costs and rate buy downs from sellers on behalf of the buyer. And so if you are a first-time home buyer with not a lot of money to bring in, or you just have limited funds, it's actually been a fantastic time for you to enter the market. Obviously, if you have purchased the home at a higher interest rate, then you're going to be able to refinance when the interest rates do drop and you can actually get one of those lower rates locked in again.
Now, obviously, the con to lower interest rates is what typically happens is home prices will increase. In fact, we heard a stat the other day that said for every 1 point the interest rate decreases, the purchase price will increase by 10%. That's pretty crazy. So while a lot of buyers are waiting for the interest rates to decrease before entering the market, they are opening themselves up to paying more money for the same property. And because buyers will flood the market, when that happens, we'll likely see a multiple offer situation again.
Yeah, for sure. And part of that reason is we do have a supply and demand problem here in the northern Utah area. So a lot of big cities are kind of built on this big grid, right? You have north, south, east, and west. In Utah, since we have the water, towards the west side on the Great Salt Lake, and then we have the mountains on the east side, Utah can only build north and south, which basically starts making our inventory, or even buildable inventory, a lot imbalanced. So the whole country obviously is experiencing supply and demand problems because when the crash happened in 2008, we stopped building a lot of homes, and most cities and municipalities weren't issuing a lot of building permits anymore. So the whole country as a whole is about 20 million houses short, and really in Utah being about 45 to 100,000 depending on when the stats that we're checking. But recently, about 45,000 homes short. So if you think about that and all the migration we've had from other states in Utah, that has made us have a really low supply and a lot of demand because of our awesome economy that we have in Utah has made it really skyrocket in the last few years. So while decreased interest rates can definitely save money in the long term, if you don't have money or you need closing costs or concessions from the seller, then it might not be the best idea to wait for those rates to drop.
Absolutely. And another thing I want to mention about the season we're entering, particularly here in Utah, is that we are a seasonal state. And what I mean by that is we actually see the biggest equity jumps in the summertime because those tend to be our busiest real estate months. Obviously, nobody wants to move in the winter or the snow, so we're really seeing a peak around June. So if you are thinking of making a move, it's best to try to get in the early part of summer and realize that equity rather than waiting until fall and having to pay that equity. Of course, if you can't purchase now, there are benefits to buying later in the year, like less competition.
All right, guys, so that wraps up our video about the future of real estate in the Salt Lake City market and where economists predict we're going to end up this year. Of course, there are many layers to the real estate market, including the area, condition, and other factors that affect the market, and too many anomalies to consider, which is why it's important to have a real estate professional helping you on your buying journey. We hope that you enjoyed this video and found it helpful.
Picking where you'll call home is an important and personal decision, and we would love to help you make that smooth transition to the Northern Utah area. If you're looking to purchase in the Northern Utah area, we would love to help you out. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, and as always, we are keeping it real estate.